Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our next Soundjack video. Today I will show you for the very first time how to connect to some remote partner and how to tweak the settings and what impact that has regarding the latency. So first of all, just a simple and quick repetition. I have Soundjack running, as you can see here. This is the XLR icon in the dock, and always make sure that Soundjack is in your applications folder, as you can see here. If that is the case, you can easily launch Soundjack via the Soundjack starter script, and then if you have done that, it will run restriction-free and totally fine. This is the current best way to launch Soundjack. By the way, yes, I have already done it, so this is just a quick repetition. What I have also done, I have logged in, you can see here, to the portal, and I have already entered the stage. And since my SJC application is running, I can have here information about my own loopback signal. So whenever I talk into the microphone, this level is peaking. Yeah, and the louder I talk, the more info I get on the level meter. This is the local loopback volume adjuster. If I drag it to the very right, I get a louder loopback signal. If I drag it to the left, now I hear a little bit more, now I hear even more, and now this is the loudest. So you can see I can easily switch the volume of my loopback signal. So whatever you see in this level meter, this is what you talk or play into your sound card, which is being processed by your local sound card. At that point, there is no networking implemented into the structure. Yeah, no networking involved. All right. The next step for you or for anybody to use the software is to figure out what is your sound card able to work with. What is the lowest sample buffer setting? So this is the most important value here. If we go to 512, 512 now, then your sound card processes the stream with a buffer size of 512 samples, and that leads to an inherent latency of 2 times 10.6 or something milliseconds. So this leads to 20 milliseconds loopback latency already, capture and playback. On Macintosh in general, with an external sound card as I have right now, as you can see here, I have a Scarlett Solo USB external device. I can easily switch it to 256, and that gives me half of that. That is 10 milliseconds of latency loopback, capture and playback. We can easily switch to 128. That amounts up to 5.7 milliseconds. And the Scarlett on OS 10 is easily also able to do 64, as we can see right now. So the stream is still stable. On other systems, the sound would probably break up and you would not hear a clean signal anymore. And this is what you have to figure out yourself. What is your sound card able to cope with? And here I know this due to my experience with all this. An external sound card, or most external sound cards on OS 10 and many others on Windows as well, Linux anyways, are able to do 64 samples. Take care with the Windows ASIO for all sound cards, not necessarily 64. Well, in most cases, probably even 128 doesn't work. You have to figure out yourself. Second, here you choose the amount of audio channels. And if you switch to 2 channels dual mono, it means that your 2 channels are mixed together and the sum of the two channels is on channel 1 and on channel 2. In this case, on the receiving end, it will be right now, but what you hear at the moment in comparison to this, now it is one channel. Oh, 1 second. If I go to two channels, now you hear me on the left only because my sound card is configured stereo, and now you hear the left channel only. And the good thing about dual mode is that, especially when you're using headphones, that you can hear it on both. That will be released within the next version of Soundjack. It is currently not the case. However, it does that on the receiving end. If you are on two channels mono, it basically sends out a mono stream that is distributed on the two channels on the receiving side. And on the next version of Soundjack, you will have that also on the loopback as we hear right now, because right now I am using that beta version, which is not official yet. So now I'm connecting to my friend Fitze, here called Mensch 3000. And please take a look at this map. So I am here located in Leipzig, and he is located in Liechtenstein in Switzerland, and the distance between these two locations is about 630 kilometers. And now we're trying to figure what is the best latency connection we can have between Leipzig and Liechtenstein. I will reduce latency right now in a bit. Hold on a second. So alles klar da drüben?
Yeah.
Okay. It's peaking a little bit. Can you send me 256 sample buffer, please? Network buffer, sorry.
Yes. So I did.
Okay. First of all, here in his entry in the user list, Mensch 3000, if you look at the very left, this star, this tells you what is the quality of what he's sending to me. And now that means he's sending 96 kbits per second. The next information is about the channel amount. So he's sending me one channel of audio. Now, this is the indicator about the amount of samples per packet in the audio stream. So his audio stream consists of 256 samples per packet. And right now I am buffering 4 packets until the audio is played out. This is the volume fader. If I drag it to the left, I don't hear anything of him. If I drag it to the very right, I can hear him with maximum volume. Can you say something, please?
Yes, I have it on the total right. If I lower it, I don't hear me.
You can see? Okay, I changed the volume fader while you were talking, and that was obvious.
Yeah.
That is the volume that changes. Whatever you see here, that is the level meter. It peaks depending on what he's talking into the mic or what he's playing. And with the level meter, you can adjust how loud it actually is. If I want to disconnect to him, I simply have to push that button here again. And on the very right, you can see the one-way latency, which we currently have. It's basically the complete latency, the round-trip latency, including all buffers, divided by 2. And right now, it is summed up to 39, 38 milliseconds, more or less.
Both ways?
It's a one-way latency latency of about 38, 40 milliseconds.
Okay.
Yeah. And in order to figure what is the effect of latency, we want to make a little experiment. So we basically increase our jitter buffers to the maximum to 99. Please do that as well, Fitz, okay?
On yours or on mine? On yours.
Yeah, the jitter buffer in the user list.
Yep.
Yes.
So it's 99 impossible latency.
Yeah, we currently have 420 milliseconds of latency. with some conferencing systems, you have that kind of latency. And now let's do the counting test. And the counting test is the perfect way to figure out what is the impact of latency. And in that sense, I will start as the counter. I'm the master, and Fitze in that case now is the slave. And I start 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you could hear that he was coming in way after my counting. Basically,
but I can hear you perfectly sync.
Because you were the slave, because you jumped onto my timing, and that's the basic outcome, the basic conclusio of the counting test. The slave has perfect conditions and the master has worst conditions. Now let's turn it around. So you will start and I come in.
Okay. Shall I lower the buffer on
your
side?
No, we keep it. We still keep it.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2,
3. Sorry. Again.
You got confused because let's do it again.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, and as you heard, of course, here we had perfect conditions because I was the slave, and I believe you had very bad conditions, right? Okay. And now let's reduce the jitter buffer to the possible minimum. I take 2 right now. Please also adjust it to 2, the jitter buffer.
Okay. Yep.
And that gives us 28 milliseconds. And now we do the counting test again. And now I am the master, so we should hear the worst impact. Let's see how that works. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you heard, obviously, it was probably a little bit lagging behind, but it was together. At least it was way more together than it was with the first case. We don't switch it around right now because it has no benefit for you hearing me having perfect conditions as the slave as we had before. And this is the essential and most important test for you to figure if the latency is convenient for you or not. Could we do it one more time and I increase your level a little bit more, that the effect of you coming in is more obvious?
I increase also the jitter to 4 because there's too much bad noise, I say.
And this is the next measure. You know, you must always adjust the jitter buffer and your settings to what is convenient for you. And you can see it's sometimes flashing red. This is okay for me right now to live with. It depends on the situation. And for example, in the morning when we did the test for this video, we had much more stable connections. That depends. And sometimes you simply have to adjust it a little higher. Okay, just let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is completely fine if you play tunes which are not too fast, like medium tempo speeds can completely live with a latency of more or less than 30 milliseconds. It works in any case if the singer, for example, is on the other side and the rhythm section is in place together. In fact, having drum and bass, like the rhythm section, having that separated is, of course, a much more demanding thing. And then you can apply additional interaction approaches, which I'm going to be covering within one of the next videos. Yeah, so far, thanks a lot, Fitze, for doing this.
Welcome.
Yeah, and be prepared for the next one. Talk soon.
Looking forward to.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
And now I disconnected from him. And now I could theoretically connect to anybody else here in this list. But for now, that was one more soundcheck video. And talk soon. Have fun. Bye-bye.